Was muted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I? Okay. Good enough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to be doing a response video to Anton Petrov's channel. The name of the video, his video, is 6 Bad and Dangerous Geoengineering Ideas Meant to Cool Down Earth. Very interesting topic. This is obviously in reference to climate change, global warming. So, fine. Let's start. I want to make it as quick as possible. I don't want to make a long video, so let's just do it quickly. So let's play Anton's video. Wait, where is his video? I closed it? No, oh, there it is. Okay. Let's play it.
We're kind of on the older side. A lot of them have been talked about for months or even years, and as I mentioned, some of them have already started their initial experiments. But in the last few months, we also got these two somewhat brand new ideas that I also wanted to talk about because, yeah, we probably shouldn't do those either.
Yeah, so I'm skipping to, I think, what is number 5 on his list.
Okay, the first one is kind of intriguing, but intriguing for different reasons. It's based on a concept known as space sunshade or sun shield.
Okay, a space sunshade. He's going to explain what it is.
A somewhat old geoengineering idea that basically suggests we can change the temperature of the planet by either amplifying or reducing the amount of sun.
So, as you can see, there is a shade between the sun on the left and the earth on the right. So, in this case, the sun shield disperses the rays from the sun. So instead of the whole, whatever was supposed to impact the earth, only a fraction of that reaches the earth.
Sunlight by placing an object in one of the Lagrange.
Okay, so these are the Lagrange points. I'm assuming you guys know something about Lagrange points. It's not so important. What's important is that between the sun and the earth, right, if you're close to the earth, you fall onto the earth. If you're close to the sun, you fall onto the sun. But there is a point in between the earth and the sun where the tug of the sun is equal to the tug of the earth, meaning you would not move. I mean, as the earth rotates around the sun, the point called L1 would also rotate. And if you are able to maintain your position, you can stay there theoretically without using any energy. But it's an unstable location, since if you move a little bit towards Earth, then the gravity of Earth will become stronger as you move closer to it, or the pull of the Earth, you will feel a stronger pull, and the pull of the sun, you will feel a weaker, so you will fall onto the Earth, meaning it's an unstable, it's like you can think of it as a top of a hill, a ball on the top of a hill. So if the ball can stay there, but it's unstable, any tipping of the ball from the top of the hill and would cause the ball to roll faster and faster towards the earth, or faster and faster towards the sun. So it's an unstable point. Okay. Anyway, so but theoretically, if you're able to just stay there, you can do it with almost zero energy. So you could place sunshades between the sun and the earth. And these shades, you can control them remotely from Earth, for example, or with an AI, whatever. You can control how much they're open, how much they're closed, how much sun reaches the Earth, or you can divert from a certain place on Earth to another. Let's say instead of so much sun reaching the equator, you could actually warm up the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole, and divert sun from the equator, so the equator cools down, so you can have more moderate temperatures all over the planet. Anyway, so that's the fundamental idea of a sunshade.
Points, specifically L1, located.
Let me just make sure that we can hear it. good. Okay, let's continue.
Between Earth and the Sun, the point that is usually used for various solar telescopes, and by then essentially having something either create a sunshade, reducing the total sun.
This is a good example. So as you can see with the fingers, you can use your fingers to not completely blot out the sun, but rather, reduce the total amount of energy that your face or your eyes receive from the sun, right? So that's the idea of the shades. Like you have shades, you can open and close them, you can manipulate how much, right? You can open and close your fingers, you can shut the distance between your fingers, minimize the distance between your fingers, and blot out more of the sun, and so that's the idea of the sunshades.
Sunlight, or amplifying sunlight in certain locations. But the previous problem with this proposition was that
Right, you can use these shades could actually be not just shades, but also they could have a feature being mirror-like, so you can divert the sunlight from, as we said, the equator to the poles.
well, first of all, this particular shade has to be really large, and second of all,
Okay, so he says it's right. His title is Six Bad and Dangerous Geoengineering. Okay, so now he says it has to be bad. That's why it's what? That's why it's bad because it has to be big. That's why it's bad. Okay, so what if it has to be? I don't know what you mean by big. This thing, the sunshades, could be literally one atom thick. So it could be extremely, extremely thin. So the amount of material needed for these sunshades could be minuscule. You could still get huge shades with actually very little material. So, okay, so what if it's big? I don't understand the problem. Let's continue.
the pressure from the sun itself at some point might completely dislodge this sun shield, making it so much more.
Okay, the pressure from the sun. So the sun creates what's known as solar winds. The sun is actually continuously letting out material. It's boiling away in all directions. It doesn't just give off light. It actually gives off material. Atoms, actual atoms, are being tossed out of the sun all the time. And this is what's known as solar wind. And you can actually create a solar sail and ride these winds. And that's an actual technology that has been tested already. So he says because of this solar wind, so these solar winds could dislodge the solar shades. All right. So, what do you mean by that? I mean, so these shades can open and close, and when you close them, so they become a parachute, and then you can accelerate away from the sun, and you can turn them off basically, turn them so that the you change the angle. Let me see if I can explain it better with an image. Um, Something is known as levelor. Let me see if I can find pictures of a levelor. Yeah. Okay, let's share this tab for a second. Okay, so this is an image of a levelor. Oh, it's gonna open Amazon now? Anyway, so the levelor shades, you can obviously change the angle, right? There's a string or a bar that you rotate and you change the angle of each one of these shades. So you can change the angle so that it either completely blots out the sun and you get complete darkness, or you can change the angle so you can see through it almost completely. And if each of these strips is very thin, then you can literally just see through the shades at that angle. So it depends on the angle. So the sunshades could be made using similar technology. So you can change the angle and create a parachute effect and fly away, accelerate away from the sun. Or you can turn the angle all the way, let's say, to 0, and then you fall into the sun. So this way you're safe. You can always manipulate where you are with basically zero energy, because changing the angle of each strip doesn't take any energy. You're not doing any work. So, and this way you can always manipulate the location of your of your sunshade. So that solves the problem. I don't see what he's talking about as this problem that the solar radiation can dislodge the sunshades. This is an engineering project, and you know what the limits of the solar radiation are, and using these limits, you design your solar shade so that it never becomes dislodged. And this thing could be fully automatic. You know, there's no reason this should ever take place. No, this can stay in stable orbit forever without human intervention. So I don't know why he just said that. No, it depends on the angle of the levelers of the strips. At 0, the sun goes right through it and it accelerates towards the sun. And at, let's say, 90 degrees, it becomes a parachute and it accelerates away from the sun, and I don't see the problem. You, you don't need that. I don't know why you need this tethered asteroid. I don't know what it gives you. You can use the weight of the sunshades itself in order to accelerate towards the sun. You don't need an extra weight. Okay, I don't know why you need it. And the rest of the video, he's just going to make fun of this fact that this asteroid, it doesn't make any sense. I agree, but I just don't see why you would suggest it to solve a problem where I don't see the problem. Why would it work to some extent more than just the shades by themselves? What is the benefit of the asteroid? I don't understand. The, okay, I don't know what he's talking. I don't know why you need the asteroid, honestly. I mean, he's thinking, Anton is maybe thinking that the sunshades don't have like a mechanism to change angles or anything like that. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he doesn't see it. Maybe he hasn't conceived of the strips. I don't see why you wouldn't think of it. Let me. Oh, I'm not sharing him. That's terrible. That is terrible. I hate it when this happens. Wait, let me see. Let's do this again.
In a stable orbit for a very long time. The solar pressure is powerful enough to actually nudge certain objects by quite a large amount within just a few years. But this brand new paper from July of 2023 potentially solves that issue, introducing a tethered asteroid. Basically, a sun shield attached to an asteroid that acts as a kind of a counterweight. Okay, honestly, this one kind of made me giggle. It looks like a little
Yeah, so he's suggesting the asteroid. I don't know why. I don't see the need for the asteroid.
potato flying a kite. And I guess in theory, this could maybe work to some extent. So basically here we have our sun shield that would block some of the sunlight.
What do you mean to some extent? I don't understand where's the extent. I see a working solution. I don't see a problem.
reducing the overall temperature on the planet. And because it would be attached to a relatively massive asteroid, the solar pressure in this case would not have as much effect, but it would still have some effect. As a matter of fact, the Yarkovsky effect that usually pushes asteroids around is powerful enough to change the orbits of asteroids after a few years. It's actually
Yeah, okay. So what? So you cannot manipulate, the angle of the strips of the shade in order to. It's like a sailboat. You manipulate the sails in order to, and whatever to get whatever effect you want. So you want your sunshades. Let's say you see that you're falling into the sun, so you change the angle to 90 degrees. So it becomes a parachute. You move away, and let's say you see, oh, we're moving too far away from the sun, so you turn your the strips to zero, so the sun goes through, and you get pulled towards the sun. Yeah, there is a problem if you start falling towards the earth. Yeah, that's a problem, but even that could probably be remedied exactly like a boat in the ocean with, you can probably even then save the day, but you can also have engines in case of an emergency. The whole thing is supposed to be very light, but I think engines would become very problematic because the whole thing is so flimsy. It's going to be difficult to use engines to move it around. Anyway, it's fine. This is a technical problem that has technical solutions.
the reason why we usually cannot predict the exact orbits of various asteroids for longer than a few hundred years.
You don't need to predict, certainly not for hundreds of years. You can have a mechanism, and at worst case scenario, you can have engines.
And so even here, after some time, this whole thing is still going to be moved by the pressure from the sun. It's probably going to take longer than just the solar sail itself, but it will definitely happen, thus reducing the effectiveness of the entire process. On top of this might happen. And that is not something
That could happen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why do you have an asteroid? I mean, yeah, the asteroid could fall and accelerate towards Earth and fall and, wreak havoc on the Earth. That is a possibility. Mm, pretty much, yeah. So don't do it. There's no reason to ever be on the Earth side of L1. If you are on Earth side of L1, then something failed. At that point, you need to take mitigating. You need to take evasive maneuvers. If you have an asteroid, you need to have something on board to take care of it. Otherwise, you're gonna have a very bad day. But I mean, you should never get to the point that you're on Earth side of L1. Yeah, but you shouldn't be there. So there's no reason to be there. It's like saying I took a gun and I put the gun onto my temple and I pulled the trigger. And as the bullet was rushing towards my brain, oh, that could happen. Yeah, why did you do that? There was no need to put the gun on your temple. Why did you do that? Don't do that.
would like to happen. Also, moving an asteroid in a different orbit is definitely beyond our current abilities. The dark mission
Moving an asteroid is beyond our technology. I don't know if it's beyond our technology. It depends on the size of the asteroid, or what you. But I don't think it's beyond our technologies. I mean, but fine. I don't see the reason to use it.
that was successful in 2022 nudged a much smaller asteroid by a tiny, tiny bit. In order to move a larger object from, for example, the asteroid belt into the L1 Lagrange point, we will definitely require some super advanced rocketry that we currently do not have. Lastly, in order to even make a big enough sunshade, we still have to have an object that's probably going to be at least
You could probably use a large sunshade to move an asteroid, but again, I don't see the reason to even use an asteroid.
3 million tons in mass. And so unless this is produced in outer space, placing this in orbit would be extraordinarily difficult.
Right, of course, you don't want to produce any of this on Earth. That doesn't make any sense. But then you have the moon. The moon is a perfect location to create whatever you want. And to get things off the moon, you build a mass driver. It's like a railroad that just accelerates a mass until it reaches orbital velocity, escape velocity, and then it flies off to wherever you aim it. So you can build the sunshade in parts on the moon and then accelerate it using a mass driver and shoot it towards L1. Um, and of course, the moon's economy would be almost completely separate from the Earth's economy. So it shouldn't cost Earth, it shouldn't cost us almost anything to build and deploy these sunshades. And manufacturing, yeah, and manufacturing on the moon is certainly the future. So this is the perfect product to build on the moon, and this will change humanity. We would have, extreme control of the weather and the climate. We could, this could be terrific, really great.
It's approximately as massive as 500,000 James Webb Space Telescopes, and that's of course not including the cables, which
Yeah, so don't build on Earth. There's no reason to build on Earth. Build it on the moon. Building on the moon makes much more sense because the moon is massless, and you can have machines living on the moon and building whatever you want. You can even do it remotely. You don't even need autonomous AI because the moon is 1 second light year away. So you can basically manipulate all your equipment from Earth. So that's realistic.
which would also be required for all this to work. So yeah, cool proposition, definitely a cool picture, but the kite flying potato is probably also not going to work either. And then we come to the final.
Yeah, but you said it's a bad and dangerous. I guess it's dangerous if the asteroid falls on Earth. Yeah, then it's dangerous. Yeah, I agree that, but don't use an asteroid. I don't see the reason for the asteroid. Anyway, so now he's moving to the next
Final winner.
topic.
The best idea. I mean, the worst idea. Although once again, the idea.
Okay. But I think the sunshade is a very good idea. I would certainly not categorize it as a bad or dangerous geoengineering idea. I think it's terrible for Anton Petrov to say this. This shows to me how disconnected this person is from reality. And I'm calling you Anton Petrov. If you want to debate this topic, of course, I'm open. We can have a debate. I would love to discuss this with you. I honestly don't understand your position on this. And with that, I think I'm going to finish the stream for today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and see you next time.